The mystery of this upcoming Beyblade silhouette has been solved with the reveal of Scorpio Spear, a UX Beyblade with a mode-changing gimmick and an evolution to one of Beyblade X's most popular bits. In the era of CX, Scorpio proves that the unique extreme lineup is here to stay, at least for a little while longer. In this video, we're going to be going over the freshly announced Scorpio Spear starter, as well as the long-awaited FoxBrush, which, kind of an interesting name. So hit that like button and subscribe to join the Nook Nation to help push us towards 400,000 subscribers. We're going to go ahead and start off with the FoxBrush Random Booster Select first, mainly because we've already seen this bay. In fact, this was leaked before the rest of CX was even revealed, so to the community, this was kind of our first CX bay. The FoxBrush is a 9-bladed attack type bay where each blade gets a little bit bigger as you go around the ring, and some people were a little bit critical of this design competitively. Typically, bays in this shape aren't the best meta performers, but I'm really hoping that it does have some attack power because I really want to use this bay in my competitive deck. But if the only thing I'm able to use is the Fox lock chip, then that kind of sucks, but I'm all right with it. The red and white combination with the Fox motif and a little bit of a purple highlight just makes this probably my favorite Beyblade CX lock chip, and it was my favorite before we saw any of the other ones, and as of now, it is still my favorite one. It just looks really good. If any of you guys want to get the bays I'm talking about in this video, make sure to go and check out sponsor of the channel, Mall of Toys. They have the FoxBrush Random Booster Select and Scorpio Spear starter available for pre-order starting today. And of course, they have a ton of other Beyblade releases for you guys to check out, so go and check them out, link in the description down below, and make sure to use code ilinnuc to get 5% off. Since this is a random booster select, that means that there are 2 other versions of Fox you can get here in just different color schemes, one of them being a mostly gold with a little bit of blue, and then we also have a mainly silver and black, and I'm a little bit more partial to the silver and black. I like that one a little bit more, but most of that is because of the lock chip. The lock chip color scheme just looks really good. It's a little bit better than the gold, but all of the color schemes here are really nice. The part mixture on the main prize Fox is a little bit underwhelming. Maybe we have the 970 ratchet, which is not new. It's a pretty good performer, not quite as good as 960, but it's still pretty solid. It's just something we've seen before already. The bit, though, is a little bit more interesting with GR or Gear Rush, and I'm really interested in this one because the original Rush and Low Rush are some of the most used parts in the competitive meta. Most likely, it's going to be more aggressive than standard Rush, but I'm hoping it still is able to be controlled. That's the reason why I don't use Gear Flat, because it's just way too wild, so we'll just have to wait and see. The most controversial component of CX, being the assist blades, also gets a new iteration here with J or Jaggy. And this one has a serrated design that matches up with the brush blade pretty perfectly, but the CX-06 Random Booster Select launches May 17th, so finally we have a release in the middle of the month, and it's less than like 3 weeks after the release of Scorpio and the Hell's Reaper Random Booster, so we aren't going to be waiting for that long. And we're definitely not going to be waiting that long for the release of the UX-14 starter Scorpio Spear, which is the second UX release in this new custom line era. And it's also, surprisingly, the second UX balance type after Hell's Hammer, which released like a year ago. Why it took so long to get another one, I don't really know. It kind of copies the Hell's Hammer shape as well, being yet another 3-bladed shape, and this is kind of me being nitpicky, but I do think Takara Tomy is giving us too many 3-bladed parts, 3-bladed bays. it gets a little bit boring, but at least with Scorpio, it can change away from that, kind of. But let's go over the specs. Like I said, this is a starter pack, but it's going to be a little bit more unique than the ones that came before it because it comes with an upgrade to the launcher. Well, not really an upgrade to the launcher itself, but it's going to be coming with a super bright neon yellow hold winder, which can give you significantly more power than the standard ripcords, so this is great. It's also kind of hard to get. You can only get it in the Samurai Saber Deluxe starter, which is kind of expensive right now, and the newly released Xeno Excalibur, but some of you guys may not be interested in those bays or able to get those. So Takara Tomy giving us another way to get a great winder is awesome. Definitely makes it more unique. The bit is Z or Zap, and besides the awesome name, this could be a really great balance type bit because it's pretty much an excelled version of point, if that makes sense. The Excel bit is pretty much just flat, but with more gears, and this Zap bit is just point with more gears, which is great. For a while, point was one of the best bits in the entire game, but I'm hoping this new Zap version of point is able to bring it back, and we're gonna have another more balance-oriented bit to use. For the ratchet, we have 070, and I don't really know how to feel about this one. 080 on Go Circle was really tall, really heavy, and kind of scrape prone, and I don't really think it was that good. I'm sure 070 will be a little bit better, but will it be top tier or anything? I don't think so. And finally, the Scorpio blade has a mode-changing gimmick in connection to the bit. CoroCoro magazine describes this as the bit grabbing on to the red ring that circles around whenever the full combo is put together. So whenever the bit spins, the plastic component on Scorpio spins as well. And this can change the shape to a 3-bladed shape, to a sort of 6-bladed, rounded, more defensive design. Kind of looks similar to Silverwolf a bit. And this feature is not exclusive to Zap either. It can work with every other bit because it connects to the stem. And this is kind of speculating, but I think we're in for another awesome, unique, extreme gimmick. Will this be meta? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Will any of these parts be super competitive? We don't really know. We're gonna have to wait for the testing, but if anything, it's going to be fun. I'm really liking these unique gimmicks, with Night Mail having the metal balls, Silverwolf having the free spin piece under the blade, and this looks to be another fun gimmick, and they're not super overboard. It's not going to ruin the performance of the Bay, but I think it's just going to make battling it more chaotic and more fun. I thought the Scorpio motif meant that this was going to be a Metal Fight reference, because we had a Scorpio in Metal Fight Beyblade, but I don't see any sort of design in the motif that references Metal Fight. Like, Aero Pegasus has the sort of face bolt design behind the drawing of Pegasus, and I don't see anything like that for Scorpio, so I don't believe this is a reference to anything. I think this is a brand new X design, but let me know if I'm skipping over something. We did get more Beyblade news besides Fox and Scorpio. We're also going to be getting a white metal coat, green and purple version of Samurai Steel, or Steel Samurai, so there's yet another Hasbro exclusive that isn't really an exclusive anymore. And the manga showed off a brand new Beyblade that we haven't seen before that is most likely the June BX-44 release with Tricera Press. And this one looks pretty interesting, sort of, but it also kind of looks like a June filler release. So they're really showcasing all of the news we're going to be having for the next couple of months. So May and June's news hype cycle might be kind of mid, but the releases we have in the second half of the year look to be insane, starting with Pegasus Blast, which I think is in July. But what do you guys think of Scorpio Spear and FoxBrush? I wouldn't be surprised if Scorpio takes most of the hype here, most of the hype for this news drop. I think a lot of people are gonna like its gimmicks. But let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And while you're down there, hit that like button and subscribe to join the Nook Nation. And don't forget to have fun and bay away.